my channel. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Jessie and I make bullet journal content as well as some bookish content and some lifestyle content. Today is a bookish video and we are doing my most anticipated reads of 2021 as well as all the books I want to read in 2021 as of this date. So grab your hot drinks or your snacks or your cold drinks and let's get into it. So I'm going to start with my most anticipated reads of 2021 and they are all on my iPad. I'm going to go in the order of publication date and there are two that are not 100% sure or not. So the first one is Daughters of Sparta by Claire Haywood. I love the Greek and Roman mythology and that whole time era, so I am super excited to read this one. And the second one is Crescent City 2 by Sarah J. Maas. I watched a live on the 15th about which was herself, her husband, and a guest. I think her name was Stephanie, and in that video or in that live, sorry, she said that she was in edits of Crescent City 2. So we were supposed to get House of Earth and Blood in 2019 and we didn't get that till 2020, so hopefully it comes in November. Goodreads says November 2nd right now, so hopefully that's right, but who knows at this point. Starting with January, I am gonna name the first all the way to December just to cover all my bases. So we are going to start with Confessions of a Bookseller. This is a contemporary adult romance and I am super excited for it. Who doesn't love reading about bookstores? Then we have Allure, which came out on January 5th. Goodreads, it says it comes out on the 5th, so I put it here, but in Canada it actually came out December 29th. Next we have The Frozen Crown by Greta Kelly, which comes out on the 12th. Then we have Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas, which came out also on the 12th. And Angie Thomas is the author and creator of The Hate U Give and a few other really amazing novels. And in The Hate U Give, we follow Star, and in Concrete Rose, we follow her father Maverick and his story. It is a wonderful read. If you are thinking about picking it up or have doubts about it, it was so good. Angie Thomas never lets you down. Then we have How to Get Lucky by Lauren Blakely, which comes out on the 18th, an adult romance. Then we have Wings of Ebony by JL coming out on the 26th. And we have A Love is a Revolution by Renee Watson coming out February 2nd. This also sounds really good. Then we have The Burning Girls by CJ Tudor coming out February 9th. I don't know if this is a YA book or an adult book, but it is a mystery. We have our main character who goes to this town, which I think in the synopsis says 500 years ago, there was a bunch of women who were burned at the stake, and then a few years ago, I think it was two girls went missing and were burned, I think. So the whole mystery is her figuring out why this happened, I believe, and that's really all I know about it. It sounds really good. It sounds like it could be like a witch trials or a witch hunt type of book, and I'm so in for that. Then we have Namina Forna. I'm sorry if I butcher any of these names. I'm not good with names, but we have her book, which is The Gilded Ones, also coming out February 9th. This is a YA fantasy and it sounds amazing. We have a girl who grows up in this village. In the village and in the village history, we have everybody's, I don't want to call it an ascension, but there's like a ritual that you go through at a certain age and your blood is either pure or impure. The impures have gold blood, and if you have impure blood, you are put to death. We have a strange woman who comes to this village and gives her an ultimatum: either stay and be put to death and follow that fate, or come with her and join the emperor's military of women. that sounds great to me and sounds pretty cool. Then we have A Court of Silver Flame by Sarah J Maas coming out February 16th. Everybody and their mother knows about this book, and I'm super excited about it. In the live I was talking about earlier, Sarah had mentioned how writing Nesta was one of her favorite characters to write, and also one of the hardest to write, but easiest at the same time. Her journey, she said, was just like, her story was just flowing out of her, and she said that she definitely earns the ending that she gets, which I'm all for. I love Sarah J Maas's writing. Yes, there are some issues with all of the books, and yes, there are some plot holes and blah blah blah, but they're genuinely enjoyable, they're genuinely beautifully written, and I love them. As well as a lot of other people. I'm excited. Also, we're following Cassian, who is probably my favorite character in the ACOTAR world, so there's that. Then we have another adult romance, the second in the series by Suzanne Wright, coming out March 2nd. Then we have The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner, also coming out on March 2nd. This sounds amazing. I stopped reading the synopsis after I got past this. So the first rule is the poison cannot be used to harm another woman. Rule 2 is the murder and the victim must be written in the apothecary's register. I stopped reading after that and was super intrigued. Then we have The Strong Silent Cowboy by Laura Lee. This comes out March 9th. This is a cowboy contemporary adult romance. I picked up the first one at work one day and I really enjoyed it, so I thought, why not put it on the list and read it. Then we have Sweet Bitter Magic by Adrienne Tooley, coming out March 9th as well. And this is a YA fantasy. Then we have Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez, also coming out March 9th. This is being marketed as Leah and the Offbeat meets To All the Boys I Loved Before. I loved Leah and the Offbeat, and I liked the premise and the story To All the Boys I Loved Before, but I didn't like Jenny Han's writing style. So I feel like I'm either really gonna like this book or really not. It's like a 50-50 toss-up right now, but I am excited to read it. Then we have The Last Secret You'll Ever Keep by Laurie Stolars. This comes out March 16th. I read Blue is for Nightmares and Her Touch series. And both of them I loved growing up. So I just really wanted to put this on the list. She hasn't come out with a new book in a while, and I really enjoyed her writing as a young adult myself, and I want to see if I still love it. She wrote a few other books that I really loved, like Bleed and Project 17, which is more of like a Blair Witch Project-esque novel. They were both really good. I remember really loving her writing and her writing style, so we'll see about this one. Then we have Namesake, which is the second in the Fable series by Adrienne Young, coming out also on March 16th. Then we have Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo, coming out on the 30th. Yeah, the 30th, and I am super excited, especially because I believe it follows Nikolai. I don't know if it follows the same band of characters that we have in King of Scars, but I'm assuming it's about Nikolai because King of Scars is mainly about him, so I'm super excited, and I love Nikolai. Then we have She's Too Pretty Burned by Wendy Hurd, also coming out the 30th, which is a romance. I believe it's an adult romance, but it might be a YA. Then we have The Serpent's Curse, the third in the Last Magician series by Lisa Maxwell, coming out April 13th. Then we have She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quinlan, coming out April 20th. This sounds so good. We have the popular girl, the non-popular girl, we have some queer characters, and it's set in high school, so that's all I needed to know. Then we have Witches Steeped in Gold, which is a Jamaican folklore inspired fantasy by Kianan Smart, also coming out April 20th. Do you want up? Come on. Oh, so cute. Then we have These Feathered Flames by Alexandra Overy, also coming out on the 20th, and I am super excited. This was another book that I was reading the synopsis and just stopped, and that was at the word firebirds. So firebirds, phoenixes, I love reading about phoenixes. I'm a huge fan of stories that entail phoenixes or incorporate them, and again, that's all I needed to know. Then we have Realm Breaker by Victoria Aveyard, coming out on May 4th. Hands down, super excited for this. I love the Red Queen, enough said. Then we have Counting Down With You by Tashi. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce the last name. I don't want to butcher that at all. But this comes out also on May 4th. It's a YA romance. Then we have The Cursed Luck, also coming out on the 4th, by Kelly Armstrong. This is a YA fantasy. I met Kelly Armstrong a few years ago. She is a Canadian author, so that's super exciting. And I've read all of her books except the ones that are thrillers or slash horror novels. I'm really not a big fan of the traditional horror or thriller novels like Stephen King and stuff. They're really just not for me. So, but I have read all of her fantasy, middle grade, and YA novels. I really, really love them. Then we have Off the Record by Cameron Garrett, coming out on the 18th. This book sounds pretty good. We have our main character who's a journalist, and she comes across the scandal of the decade, and I'm assuming there are some threats made, and she's just trying to figure out how to report the story. So that sounds really good. Then we have One Last Stop, which a lot of people are excited about. This is by Casey McQuinson. It comes out also on the 1st. This is the author of Red, White, and Royal Blue, which was phenomenal. So we have time travel, and we have queer characters, and it sounds so good. I was hooked at time travel, to be honest. Then we have Blood Like Magic by Lascelles Sambury, coming out on the 15th. This is a YA urban fantasy, and we follow a girl who has a little sister, and they find their mom dead on their front porch, and the dad they never knew comes along and sequests this older sister away to a remote island where she learns to use her magical abilities. Sounds amazing, and I'm actually really excited for this book. Then we have Witch Shadow, which is the 4th installment in the Witchland series by Susan Dennard, coming out the 22nd, and it follows Inslet, or Inslow, however you want to pronounce her name, and I really enjoyed her point of views in the previous books, and I want more of her. I want her to be more of the center of attention and really get to delve into her story. We get a little bit throughout the series, but it's not as much as I really wanted. Her character really gripped me from the first POV that we had of her, so I'm excited to read that. Then we have Capture the Crown by Jennifer Esteep, coming out on June 6th. And our last little group of books, we have This Poison Heart by Kaylin Barron, also coming out on the 6th. Then we have 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim, also coming out on the 6th. This is probably one of my top 5, if not top 10, most anticipated reads of the year. A little blurb above the synopsis on Goodreads. I think it reads: a princess, the boy she left at the altar, or a boy left at the altar, 6 enchanted cranes, and a dragon from a deep sea. Do I need to say more? I don't think so. I'm super excited for it. Then we have my top, if not top 3 most anticipated reads of the year, and that's Wings of Shadow by Nikki Popreto, which comes out July 13th. I'm super sad that it's going to take forever to get to this book because I am obsessed. I devoured Crown of Feathers and Heart of Flame in probably 4 days. I literally bought Crown of Feathers, read it into the second day. I think it was like the morning. No, I think I finished it in a day. And my husband was supposed to go to work and I was like, I'm gonna drive you in because I need to go to the bookstore. And he was like, you just went yesterday. And I was like, I need to get the second book. I can't. So he was like, okay. So I dropped him off at like 5:30 in the morning at work, and I came back home, and then when the bookstore, like I was there at the bookstore for when it opened just to pick up the second book of this series. So yeah, I am super excited for this. I don't know if this is going to be the last book, if it's going to be a trilogy or not. If it's not, I'm probably going to be a little sad. But if it ends wonderfully and this is the last book we get, then I'm okay with it. Then our last 2 are Ink Obsession by Carrie Ann Bryan, coming out July 20th. This is an adult romance. And the last one comes out October 12th by Maya Banks, Wherever You Are, which is the 12th installment of her KGI series. The KGI series I really enjoy because it's mindless reading. It just follows kind of the same premise. We have an X-Force, whether it be the Army, the Navy, special forces of some kind, and then we have our damsel in distress, or a girl who's running from something, or someone stalking her, or whatever it is. Our main male character finds her and protects her, however that comes about, if he just comes across her or he's assigned her. And like I said, it's just really mindless reading. They're great for after you've been in a world of deep fantasy, or you're in a reading slump or anything like that. They're really nice just to read to start off. And then I have my reading journal here, and I'm just gonna read the few books that have come out either last year or previous years before that I want to read. So I've already read Lore. Then I have the reread of the Witchland series in preparation for Witch Shadow, Olive Lee Bardugo's books in prep for Rule of Wolves to come out. Then I have From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I am going to get into this one a little bit because I have kept myself pretty spoiler free thus far, and I'm really happy about it. A lot of the vibe I get from a lot of people is dependent on what you go into the book expecting is how you like the book coming out of it. So if I know absolutely nothing going into it, then I have no expectations and I won't be disappointed, is my thought process right now. So all I know is about it's a girl who cannot have any human interaction, and then she has an ascension of sorts, and I think she falls in love with her bodyguard. That's literally all I know about it. I know absolutely nothing else, and I'm pretty proud of myself of not getting spoiled thus far, so I hope to pick this one up pretty soon. And yeah, then we have The Queen's Assassin, which is my current read right now. The second book to this first one also comes out this year, but I don't know if I'm going to pick it up. It depends on how well I like The Queen's Assassin. I'm not super into it right now, so we'll see. Then we have a reread of Fable for Namesake, Blackbird Volume 2, which is a graphic novel. And then the last two is Bloodmere and the Burning Light by Brent Weeks. I've been listening to the Lightbringer series on audiobook, and I also have the physical copies, so I really, really love them. Those are all of the books up to date that I know of and that are on Goodreads for coming out. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you want me to review any of these books, or let me know what books you're excited for that are coming out this year, or that you just want to read this year. And I think that's it. I hope you guys, like I said, enjoyed this video. If you feel so inclined, please like and subscribe. I will leave my Goodreads link to the page of all of the books mentioned today. And I hope you guys have a wonderful reading journey in 2021. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.